Well, I am a 54-year-old, out, open, post-op female working for the Department of Navy. With that in mind, everything that I'm saying is my views and not representative of the United States Navy or, for that matter, the DoD or the federal government. I work on ships at sea. My job has me gone from home 10 months out of the year, and my family, my spouse Kate, is very supportive of such. It's an interesting lifestyle in that there's not too many people out there of similar situation. So it has me staying somewhat reclusive, but it's an interesting way of seeing the world and making money at the same time. Working for the Department of Defense as a civil service employee, I would say that I have some better protections and a bit more respect than I do in society in general. First off, by way of my job, I am an executive on board the ship in that I'm a department head, a department officer. I play a key role in keeping things functioning by way of health and safety issues for the people that I work with. So that right there sets me apart from the general rank and file. It would be no different than being respected as a nurse, which I am, working in a hospital. But on the outside, you're still suffering through the issues of whether or not that state that you're visiting has equal protections for the GLBT, or for that matter, is trans-inclusive in what protections they do offer. When you start traveling abroad, you need to take into account that there are various countries that have very few, if any, protections, and then again, very few, if any, human rights. Traveling and working out of the Middle East especially, there are some countries that it is actually criminal to even exist, such as in Kuwait. I have been fortunate that the people I work with on board the ship are willing to route me through to Europe and then on through back home to where I live, instead of sending me through Kuwait as some of the flights go. The mere risk of the plane breaking down and having me stay in that country than on board a plane is a significant feature in my life when I work in that area, as to making sure it doesn't happen. The mere fact that I am transgendered is a violation of that country's interpretation of Sharia law. Would make me susceptible to a 4 to 6 year jail term in their country, just for existing. As a federal employee, I don't come under the new provisions that Don't Ask, Don't Tell provided to the active duty. Having been former active duty, it is a blessing to see that it came into play. However, even before it was implemented, after DADT was implemented, and even after it was revoked, it didn't apply to me. As a transsexual individual, whether or not I was in the closet or not, DADT did not have any impact in protecting me, or for that matter, ensuring that I could stay in after its revision. From there, all of the energy that went into hunting the gays and lesbians that I knew in the service back in my day is now spotlighted on looking for and actively hunting down the transgendered in today's military. There is no protection under the revision of DADT for the transgendered. People ask, what can you do for fun on a ship? There's not a whole lot other than enjoying some wonderful sunsets, maybe playing a couple of board games with people. A lot of people these days go on to working on their computer as to dealing with activities. Personally, I enjoy reading a good book, being ashore with its liberty, going out and investigating great places to eat. I've, believe it or not, found a wonderful little French restaurant in the middle of Djibouti, Africa, which looks a lot like District 9 for the clutter and refuse that is around the area. But in this little bastion, it's like walking into Rick's Cafe, seeing the French Foreign Legion there in their uniforms, and the only thing missing is the piano playing "You Must Remember This" in the background.